It makes me feel like
The NBA can be divided up into certain tiers. You have your contending teams like the Cavs and the Warriors, the Rockets, the Spurs, the Celtics. You have your mid-level teams, teams that are on the cusp of contending but just aren't quite there, like the Jazz or the Clippers or the Wizards. Then you have your teams that are in rebuild mode, that are tanking and trying to lose, but have young talent like the Lakers or the Suns or the Sixers. Or you have teams that we're going to talk about right now that just have no future and are in an absolutely terrible state, whether it's because of no draft picks, bad trades, bad contracts, bad coaches, whatever it is. Let's see and get into it. The first team we're going to talk about is the Detroit Pistons. Now, on the surface, their record wasn't terrible, 37-45, but their expectations were high. And as you can see here, I've divided up into categories. Do you have building blocks? Do you have young talent? Where are you at in the payroll? Well, the Detroit Pistons don't have a building block. Andre Drummond is a nice young player, but to have a building block, that insinuates that that player is getting better each year. And he's not getting better under Stan Van Gundy. Andre Drummond took a major step back this season. So if you really look at it, with Andre Drummond taking the step back that he did, Reggie Jackson had a miserable season. Towards the end of the year, Reggie Jackson, who was a huge acquisition for the Detroit Pistons and Stan Van Gundy, was splitting time at point guard and even coming off the bench at times with a guy like Ish Smith. And if you watched a lot of the games like I did and watched the Pistons, you could clearly see that they quit on Stan Van Gundy, who is not only their head coach, but he's also their GM. In addition, when you look at it, the Detroit Pistons are third in overall payroll in the NBA, which is a disgrace. They have a lot of money committed to Reggie Jackson. They have a lot of money committed to Andre Drummond. They have a lot of money committed to Tobias Harris. They have money committed to Marcus Morris. All these guys they have a lot of money committed to, and it's just not a good look.
Nobody can do anything but tip. We just form a fucking wall.
The next team we're going to talk about is the New York Knicks. Unlike the Pistons, the Knicks have a building block, Kristaps Porzingis. He improves every year and deserves a lot of credit for that. Porzingis is a quality player. However, there's so many questions surrounding the Knicks and their future, and it doesn't look like it's going to get better anytime soon. The first big question is Carmelo Anthony and Phil Jackson. Disasters, disgraces. Carmelo Anthony is going to be left out of town, but the question is can the Knicks get anything back for him? I don't think they will be able to get anything back for him because his value shrunk so low. Then you transition to Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose had a decent season offensively this year, miserable on defense, but he was injured so much, and can you really commit $150 million to him? Then you get into Joakim Noah, who arguably has the worst contract right now in all of basketball. It's just a total mess. And even though the Knicks do have some payroll open and have a chance to really sign some guys, what free agent's really going to want to go to New York with all that, hectic, toxic environment that is around there right now? You look at and see Charles Oakley here. Nobody wants to be a part of that. Nobody's going to, want a big contract to be a part of that. Teams want to go where the environment's good, the culture's good, and you could win games. The Knicks are a joke. Lastly, we get into the Brooklyn Nets. The Brooklyn Nets, this one was easy. They're the worst team in basketball, and they don't have a draft pick next year. Their trade where they acquired Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett will always be looked at as one of the worst deals in NBA history. They have no building blocks. I'm sorry, Brook Lopez, you're a nice player. I like you a lot, but in this day and age in basketball, if you're a center and you can't rebound and you can't play defense, you're not a building block. There's not much to be said about Brooklyn, guys. It's a sad story. They have nothing to look forward to. What's going to happen is they have some payroll space. They're going to overpay for guys like Contavious Caldwell-Pope. They're going to overpay for mediocre free agents because that's what they have to do to bring somebody to Brooklyn. Their solution is years and years and years away. They're going to have to get a game-changing player in the draft down the road. It won't be this year. They're a disaster. So there you have it. Those are my three teams, guys. I think the Detroit Pistons, the New York Knicks, and the Brooklyn Nets, as a total franchise, looking forward, are in the worst shape in the NBA. Comment and let me know if you guys agree or disagree.